What are we doing? Are we live?
Yes, we are live.
We're not. Okay.
So, hey guys, I'm so sorry. I tried to schedule these things and it does not literally let me push going live for some reason. So then we have to kind of start over again. So I know that at least 3 of you were waiting and I do apologize. Hello, hello. How are you guys? We have 5 people on.
Yay!
So Franny's watching our sales right now. We just lost our wind a minute ago, and she's probably going to have to move the sales a bit right now during the live stream. But
Maybe.
we have been at sea now for I'd say probably about 3 hours, 4 hours. We left about 9 today. So it's warm out. It's nice out.
Yep. Yeah, it is, but the wind isn't so great. So it's we've got like 6 knots of true wind, actually 6 or 7, and then 9 knots of apparent because we have the port engine on. And we do have the mainsail and the head sail up. So we have the Genoa up and the mainsail because we did have some wind for a little bit, but it's dropping off now, and we're probably going to have to drop the sails here before too awfully long, so that'll be exciting. So, but, yeah. Okay.
Okay, we'll make sure we do that.
So we have a buddy boat today.
We do.
We have SV Herky with us.
Yes.
And they are off to the starboard, about this way, about 30 degrees or so to starboard. They're about 2 miles away. We're a little bit further out than they are. And
we just
right,
lost our sails.
So,
I'm going to turn it around so you guys can see what's going on with the sails.
Yeah, I think I better deal with that. Maybe bring that guy back in. I don't know. It's just our apparent wind is really dying.
So, yeah, you can see the sails right now. We do have them, but a second ago they were flogging.
So talk amongst yourselves, and I'm
I will.
while I'm doing this.
Right. Yeah. So we have our enclosure, which is nice. Franny actually has it rolled down at the moment because it's a little chilly. It's not too bad. It's 70s on land, but I'd say probably with our wind speed and so on, it's probably about, I don't know, like maybe 60s or something. Feels like it's 60s.
No, it's in the 70s.
Yeah. So
it's actually pretty nice out. The wind was blowing. It was a little cool for a little bit, but it's not too bad now. So we roll this guy up so we've got access to.
we do love our helm enclosure, though.
Oh yeah. Couldn't do it without it. I know, kiddo. I know, I'm coming.
So, you guys are sailing. You guys are going to be the bystanders right now. We're going to deal with the sails in this live stream, so you can have an opportunity to see what's going on. Okay. So,
I'll talk you through it.
yep,
Okay. So,
pulling in the head sail.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to move things around a little bit. I need the winches. And, see, I don't need this. What's this? For now.
Right.
I don't need this for now. So I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to move, this is the main sheet here. This is what controls the angle of our main sail. I got to close the block here because I have to take the line off of this winch. So if I don't close the block, it'll just go running out. You'll rope burn your hands and all, chaos. That's not good. But it's a working line, so it should always be on a winch. It should never really be pleated off.
Actually,
This. So there we go.
green. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Now open that up. All right. Now our next working line that we have going is our head sail, and that's what we're going to be bringing in anyways. So I'm going to move it. It's currently on the outboard winch, but I need that to roll it up. So
Here's the outboard winch over here.
So I'm going to be letting this out So it's no big deal really, and there's almost nothing on it right now. It's just flogging it down. So, question is, how do you get the head sail in? Well, if you look way up in the front there, there's a drum down at the bottom of the head sail and a yellow and white line that goes out, and it's all up there because when the sail came out, it rolled all that line onto the drum.
Right?
Cool.
Yep.
So now we can pull on that line and roll the sail back up.
Yep.
All right, so what we do is we throw this on the winch here, and this becomes a bit of a coordinated effort because we want to roll this, we want to pull the furling line to wrap up the head sail, but we also have to let out our working sheet here, so
right
on the port side here, because we don't want it to have this movement.
Lost connect. Yep.
You good? All right, so here we go. All set. You can see it pulls the.
All right, you can see it. You can see that head sail is rolling.
Yep.
Franny's watching all of her lines, making sure that it's rolling. See over here. It's rolling through here. And over here,
Give it a turn or two.
you can see that this one
There we go.
is going in on this side. So sorry, she stopped it. But it's the one that she was using to
This
roll
one
it
was
in.
coming in. So this was the
so it's
line
all the way
to
along
furl
the
it
side of our boat.
for the furl. All
Yep.
right. Okay, so one additional piece, and it's not super important, but there is an actual clutch out there
Right.
for the yellow and white line for our furling
See
line.
it there right next to the lifelines
down there. Yep.
It's the black
And
object.
I said that you never pull the line off a winch unless you have one of your clutches locked off.
Right?
So we know that that's locked off, so
Okay.
we can take this off the winch now.
Okay.
All right, great. Okay, now that was actually the easy one.
Right.
The more difficult one is the head sail to get that down.
Right. So you can still see it's still up there. Yep. And we just have one sail, and it's getting a little bit more rocky on our boat right now without that head sail
Yeah,
stabilizing
that's the
us
thing
out.
is the sails really do flatten things out a little bit. So we can see what that head sail's doing, but it looks like it's just sort of rocking back and forth anyway, so we probably should pull it in. What's our apparent wind, Heidi? And the angle?
The apparent wind speed is 7.5 knots. Our angle is just
Okay,
here.
show folks that.
Yeah.
So this is our apparent wind angle here. Apparent wind speed, 7.6 knots.
Right.
And the angle is really what that red
Which is
red
right
needle
around
is.
33.
Right around 30, but it's also up here. 33 degrees or whatever. Starboard. That's not south, that's starboard. So on the starboard side.
Yeah.
So that's very, very tight on the wind with very little wind
Yeah.
anyways. Our
Probably.
mainsail is working. So maybe we keep it up a little bit longer because it does help stabilize the boat. It acts like a filter in a sense because as the boat moves, the air mass that's around it then pushes against the sail, which tends to slow down that movement. So it's kind of like a low pass filter in a sense. It's going to filter out any high frequency movements, and then it'll kind of smooth out the ride a bit. It's kind of long and short of that. But you have to be careful of it. You can't let it just flog back and forth. It'll rip the fabric. It'll destroy the sail. So we just have to be kind of careful with things. Maybe we'll just sit here for a little bit longer because it is stabilizing the boat.
Yep.
Now, what's our speed? Our speed is only 5.4 knots, 5.7 knots.
Mm-hmm.
We're at 2,000 on the port engine only, so I think it's probably time,
Right.
Heidi. Why don't you fire up the starboard engine, because we'd only have one engine on.
Okay.
So why don't you show folks that?
Okay, so it's not on at all. So the first thing we want to do is we want to hit the on-off button.
Yep, that's good.
And then we have to check it, make sure that it comes through.
The display will come up and tell us the hours.
Yep.
349. That little double beep says we're ready to go.
Okay, now we go ahead and hit the start button.
Push and hold and it starts. There you go.
Starts.
And the RPMs come up.
Now, right now, our throttle's in neutral. right
All
now.
So go ahead and push it up.
Yep. You want me to go up to
Yep.
2,000?
Yeah, about 2,000. So similar to where the other one is.
Okay.
Yeah, Yodi just said that. So yes, so SV Yodi said that's correct. If the slower you go, the apparent wind will move sternward or rearward. That's true, and the reason is because we're making the vast majority of the wind. If we take a look at this right here, our true wind is it's on the bottom left down here. So right here, our true wind is 4.7, 4.6, but our apparent wind is much higher, 9.3. And you can see how high that needle is. It's pretty close to 30. And the reason is because by moving the boat forward, we're making our own wind. So it's as Sam mentioned, it's a simple vector addition of the angle of the wind to the boat and its magnitude, and then our direction and our magnitude. You just multiply the two of them together, and you end up with the apparent wind.
Okay.
And that's how that works.
So Graham is online and he wants to know if we are checking the water flow.
Yes, that's a very good point. So once you start up an engine, you should always go back on around here and check to make sure we started to starboard. Make sure that we have adequate water flow.
Right. A little hard for me. It's left-handed. It's all right, I got it.
All right, you guys are going overboard here. All right. I can see. Holy cow. Down there somewhere. I can barely see it. Where are we? There. Okay, so you see that water pouring out down there, flying out of the big one and the little bitty one that's peeing out there as well. So the little one is it's just right after the pump pressure, and the other one is actually the exhaust. So the water gets mixed with the exhaust and out it goes. So you want to make sure you got water coming out of both of those tubes. Alright. Alright. Okay. Alright, Heidi?
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa, hold on. There we go. Okay,
Right.
so that's a good point. Yes. So, and the reason why that's so important is because one thing to note about these engines is that their exhaust is a wet exhaust. So right after the exhaust comes out of the turbos on these engines, there's a water injection. In fact, it's the end of the cooling water for the engine. Water gets pulled up from the sea, goes through a heat exchanger, goes through the intercooler first, then to a heat exchanger, and then it gets dumped overboard, but it gets dumped overboard through the exhaust. And there's a big, huge exhaust. It's like 4 inches in diameter, big, huge, and it's a rubber tube. And they toss all this salt water in there, and it goes down into the muffler, and it kind of mixes up in there, kind of interesting. And then it comes out of there, and it goes up through a big loop, and comes back down, and goes out that exhaust. And there's a couple of reasons for doing that. One is to cool the exhaust, so that we don't have these incredibly hot exhaust pipes going out. That's a fire hazard. The second thing is it reduces the noise quite a bit, actually. So through the muffler and everything, it makes it quite a bit quieter. These engines are you hear mechanical noise from the engines for sure, but you don't hear a lot of exhaust noise at all, which is kind of cool. So there we go. So our sail, let's see what our mainsail looks like at this point. It's not too bad. It's still working. And so at this point, it's not really producing any thrust, but it is producing stabilization for us. So there's really no reason to take it down until we see the sail going back and forth, wagga, 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 wagga. We do have, it's pretty, look at that, 21, our apparent wind angle here is very tight. 21, 23, 30 degrees. It's really tight.
We do not have dagger boards.
Yeah, and this boat can't sail on that. So at this point, the sail's just acting as a stabilizer, really more than anything else. Just that's all it's doing. And as long as I'm not slapping back and forth and causing a fuss up there, it's fine. And once it starts to cause a fuss, then we'll definitely deal with it. And it shouldn't be a mess. I don't know if it's going to slow us down at all. Probably not. I mean, it should give us the teeniest bit of like I don't know, quarter of a knot at the most of speed. Very, very slow.
So what's the plan, Captain?
Well, okay, so we have SB Herky here off about 35, 40 degrees off the starboard
Let's
bow.
see if I can see. Oh, barely.
Way out there.
Yeah, I don't know if you
have to
can.
zoom in.
Right, you probably can't see them, but yeah,
They're
way out
roughly
there.
2 nautical miles from us on a diagonal.
Right.
They're very close. In fact, they're very close to the 3-mile line is where they are. We're going to be heading back towards them very slowly. They're at a course of 160. We're at a course of 165 magnetic. And so we're just going to ever inch towards them. I was going to tack, but we ran out of wind. So that's that. So that was that.
Graham wants to know if we can change our direction to get better wind, and also wants to know why Herky's not on AIS.
Yeah, great question as to why.
Good
I'll go
questions.
backwards on that.
Yeah.
So, not sure why Herky's not on AIS. I called out to Shane this morning when we were on our way out, and I said, I can see the boat in front of you, but I can't see you. What's up with your AIS? And he said that he got an update just last night, and the whole thing went screwy on him. In fact, it set all the alarms to be like a foot around the boat or something, so he had all these alarms going. What a kerfuffle.
Right.
So he's going to, that's his afternoon project, he said, was to get on that and see if he can fix it. I really hope he gets it done for tonight, because it'll be a lot easier to find him at night. I mean, he'll have his lights on and stuff, and that's great, but still, it'll be easier to keep track of him. We do see him on radar, which is good, but it's not a big boat, and it's a small radar thing, and we have it, but it's just a tick on the radar. So the other question was, can we change our angle? Yes, we could, but we've only got 3 to 4 knots of true wind, so it's not even worth it. It's
Here's the true wind speed.
It just
right
died.
there.
It just flat out died on us. So yeah, I'm looking at it.
And we were expecting that.
Yes.
We actually, predict wind was pretty, well, one of the models within predict wind.
Very good predicty today. So we figured it out, which is great. So we figured we'd be, in fact, that was a treat to be able to sail at all. So that was nice. We figured it was going to be kind of a little bit mellow. What's happening is that there were some southerlies that were blowing for a few days, and now they're switching around. There's another cold front coming through, and we're just ahead of that. And I think the wind is trying to figure out which direction it wants to go, and so it just says, you know what, maybe I don't do any direction. So I think that's it. So this is kind of what's going on. So we'll be crossing Canaveral, I think, at night tonight, so we have to be careful of the shoals out there. We do have a good course as well. We're quite a bit outside of the course. In fact, we're out further away from shore than our course is, which just kind of happened, I suppose, and that's fine. We'll get back to where we were. Herky's much closer, actually. They're much closer to the course, but don't want to stay too far offshore because of the Gulf Stream. So we do need to head back. And now that we don't have to worry about the wind, we can back almost straight towards them and get in on their 6 and just kind of hang out behind them. And that way I can better gauge their speed as well. Because I think we're going a little bit faster.
Graham wants to know how Shane's doing.
Oh, he's doing great. Yeah, he's doing great. They had a long sail.
I think Marilee's at the helm right now.
Yep, Marilee's at the helm, and I think he was up last night watching football, he said. So, so it was a big deal.
I didn't ask who won.
Yeah.
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 So who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. He wasn't super stoked and excited this morning, so I'm guessing probably not.
Okay.
Didn't win, but yeah. So we had a fun time getting off the ball this morning and in Augustine and getting through the bridge, and it was only at the top and the bottom of the hour. So we ended up getting through at 9 o'clock, which is an hour ahead of schedule. It was really foggy too. Oh, last night it was just the densest fog. You couldn't see anything around us. It was very interesting.
Oh, Shane said Iowa lost. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So Aote said the 50-foot line is great to make sure you're inside the Gulf Stream. So yeah, we're at at least at the 3-mile mark. So
you mean the 55-mile line, not 55 feet? What did you say?
I don't know what he said. Hold on.
What?
Let me look at that again.
55 feet's a little close to the shore.
50-foot line.
50-foot line. Okay.
Well,
I'm not sure where we were. Just
we're on by the.
yeah, we're probably about 3.5. Or wait, that's 3. So
We're
yeah,
over
we're
the-
about almost about 6 miles offshore.
Right.
That'd be my guess at this point. And we do need to head back, so we will.
Our drift isn't that bad though, so we're not doing too bad. So our drift is at half a knot. It was worse from Charleston. Yeah, we had
but
much
the-
worse
The
drift.
drift now is mainly because of the sail, and it's gone down quite a bit because we don't have much wind, so we're not drifting as much. I don't think there's much current out here at all. It's very, very low from what I've seen, so I think we're fine. Yeah, that's it. It just got a while, especially if it's busy and all that. But
We might do. We'll see how if we have time tomorrow to come online again. If we are, it'll be probably earlier in the morning. Somebody asked about our progress. So we do. Do we have a tracker? We do. You didn't let me see who it was. I was
That's
trying to
okay.
read the comment.
Do we have a tracker? Yes,
We
it's
do
great.
have a tracker. We have different levels of patrons, and we tracker to a couple of different levels of our patrons, so they have access to the tracker.
Oh, really? You don't give it out to everybody? Why not? You don't? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
we'll probably have to
it
send it to
doesn't.
Grant. We should send it to
It
Grant.
doesn't go out to every patron.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
different benefits for different levels.
Okay. It's a benefit to us that people know where we are. That's all I'm thinking. But yeah. So
I think that everybody that's on the WhatsApp chat gets it, no matter what benefit level they're at.
yeah.
So that
Oh,
would
there you
solve
go.
that.
Okay. Well, that's
Right.
the
So
solution. to that.
WhatsApp's open to everybody.
Yeah. So did you post it in WhatsApp?
I didn't this time, but it's the same. I mean, it's no different than
Oh,
what it was
okay.
before.
It's in the WhatsApp chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can repost it too.
Right.
So, yeah. So Shane's on Lagoon 380, 71. And I don't know if we can get a picture of him from here or not.
Well, it's kind of hard through the plastic.
He's
I
not
can
through
see
the
them.
plastic. Can you zoom
Oh.
into it? There they are. Can you see them out there? Kind of a little bit of a dot, but that's them. It's about the best I can zoom
Shane and
in.
Marilyn.
And so, yeah, they're just tootling along out there,
Yep.
which is kind of fun.
Tiny little sailboat on the horizon.
Here, behind
Well,
you.
I think that.
There's some noisage going on out there. We'll check that out.
All right, so Franny is going. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see Franny getting up to manage stuff up there. We have our fancy smancy new life preservatives on that we got at the boat show. The latest and greatest spin locks.
That's not loose to me today.
So to answer your question, let's see. There's another question here. Fort Pierce and then No Name. No, we are not going to No Name because we are doing a battery. We are going to Fort Pierce, and we are going to be there for a while because we are going to upgrade our batteries. So our batteries are pretty much they're in pretty bad shape right now.
Yeah,
So
why don't
we're
you
gonna-
talk a little bit about what our power was like while we were on the ball? Because we were there for over a week.
We were there definitely for over a week, and so twice a day we had to run our generator, like about 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours at night. And especially when it got colder, like we'd wake up and it was pretty cold in the two berths. So we would, or two holes, sorry, not the berths. Yeah.
There you go.
So, yeah, so we have to, I'll repeat that again, just in case it didn't make the live stream. So yeah, we have to run the generator, and then we can run either air conditioners or heaters. So obviously it's been cold, so we've been putting it on heat. Although the last couple days it's actually turned around and it's been warmer, so we haven't had to do that. And then usually what we do towards the end of the day, like time we're getting ready to make dinner. We'll run the generator a second time just to top everything off before we go to bed. And that's usually, maybe we'll be using like the electric oven and the microwave. We have a gas stove, so the gas stove is not connected to all that. So we're just running propane, so we don't need to worry about the generator. But just sometimes it's nice to have everything topped off. Depends on how much our inverter is inverting, right, Franny?
Well, more charging.
Yeah. So anyway, that's really, Franny's got 2 big things planned for Fort Pierce. She is, you may have just seen one of the most recent videos that we put out, which shows us cleaning the fuel tanks manually. She's going to be taking our fuel system apart so that we can actually put the polishers and filters on through our system. And then the batteries. And those are the big projects for right now.
A polisher and a fuel transfer. So
Fuel transfer, that's what it was.
Yep. So, and you're right, we do have 2 new filters. We have 2 new big ray cores.
Right.
That will replace the Volvo filters that are on there.
Right.
And then install the ray core fuel polisher. Install the ray core fuel polisher, and it'll be set up, since it has its own integral pump with just a series of valves, you can set it up then as a transfer system as well. So we'll be doing that. So that's that. That's the fuel side. I want to put in, if I can get it done, I've been wanting to do this forever, but we've got level meters for the black tank. So at least we can put it on one of them. I'd like to put it on all 3 of them. So that'd be great to know when we filled up the loop. And what else? Besides, and then the other thing, of course, is the batteries. So new batteries. So the current vibe is, and this is probably going to change, is I'd like to go with a 24-volt system. Actually, a house bank of 24 volts, and that sounds funny because nothing is native to 24 volts on the boat. But then I'll also attach to it a small but powerful enough 12-volt bank that will drive all the 12-volt systems, the native stuff on the boat. Great. And then that 24 can charge the 12. But the cool thing is that we can put in 2 big inverters, 2 24-volt inverters, and our cabling is going to be smaller if we go with 24 volts. It's also easier to get from 24 volts to 12 than it is from 48 to 12. And on top of all of that, if we can swing it, it would be pretty super sweet. If we could pop out all of the AC units, we have 6 of them, air conditioning units. And they're all small, they're like 600 BTU. And throw in 24 volt AC units. That would be super cool. And then we would, that would probably be a bit of an expense, but at least we would be able to get rid of our dependency on 230 volts, which is what our air conditioners run on now. And it's the only thing in the whole boat that uses 230 volts. So we have an L1 and L2 AC lines, so we have 110 on one side and 110 on the other of the 220, and we only can use one of those while we're on the inverter currently, because we only have a single inverter. So the other side, the other side's a bigger load stuff. That's going to be the washing machine, water heater, the water maker, those sorts of things are on the other side, and we can't run them off the battery at this point. The generator has to be running to power that other side.
Yep.
So we'll have 2 inverters, 2 5K inverters, and one will handle one side, one will handle the other. It means we can now run everything off of the boat. And if we go with those 24-volt air conditioning units, then we could run all the ACs as well off of the batteries for 5 minutes. But I mean, we could run 1 or 2 of them overnight, which would be pretty sweet. Same thing for the heat, because sometimes it gets really cold in the boat. I've found it to be cold more than hot. So that's been kind of weird for me, but that's just the
Our enclosures certainly reduce that, though.
Yeah, the enclosure helps a lot.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, look, it's cleared up quite a bit. You can see Herky better now. You can see it out there? Let's see if I can zoom in on them again. Let's see. There they are. There you go. So now you can see. Oh, kind of went out of focus. Come on, kiddo. Right there. Well, they kind of went out of focus. Come on, kiddo. What are you trying to focus on? Oh well, that's just going to make people sick. Sorry. Yeah. So there they are. All right, Heidi. Anything else? What are you looking at?
So, well, I was reading
there
the
were
comments over here. So, Graham was wondering if our boat was originally a European boat. Well,
I guess so.
It did come out of La Rochelle, but they immediately did a bunch of refitting on it at Atlantic Cruising Yachts in Annapolis.
Yeah, that was when it was commissioned.
Right. So really, no. I mean, like,
No, it is. That's why we have 230 volt air conditioning units.
that was the only thing maybe that came with it. Though,
Yeah,
right?
and I don't think there were any 230 volt outlets on the boat.
What about the pumps?
The pumps for the air conditionings are 230 volts. They're the only things that are. Everything else is 12 volts. So the only thing that's 110 volt are convenient items, like the microwave, the little toaster oven, the outlets around the boat. So they're non-critical systems.
So if we haven't run out of money, I would like to get a dishwasher right there with Jason Lynn. And then I would also like to get an induction stove or a partially gas induction stove. I think they do make 2-burner and 2-burner. I'm not sure how hard they are to find, but I would like to do that. And then right now we have our little toaster oven separate from our microwave.
Yes.
And so we would like to combine those together to make room for the dishwasher.
Yep.
That's the goal. So, and then eventually we want to put on a solar arch and solar panels, but
yeah, our solar's crap. It
probably
produces like 50 watts, maybe 100 at the most, but not even that.
that won't happen in 2024. I would say probably 2025 before that happens, but we'll see.
You
we'll
get
see.
tired of running the generator, you will. You're going to jump on that a lot faster. So,
Yeah.
But our generator, with the 2 new inverters, they'll be able to, right now we can only charge the batteries about 45 amps or so, and that's it with the generator. And that generator could light up a small city. It's 13 kilowatts, it's ginormous. So, but all it can do is just, because it's got to go through the inverter, and the inverter's got to be the one that actually charges the battery. So it's the inverter does not put out 12 volts. It only puts out 230 and 110 volts. So that's kind of a bummer. So now you have to charge it. Well, the 2 5,000 watt inverters, the big Quattros, I think put out 200 amps a piece charging. So that'll be pretty serious. So we could dump some solid power into the lithium bank very quickly. And we've only been down about 200 or so, 225 amp hours, something like that overnight. That's generally where we are in the morning. So it should be able, 200 amp hours, jeepers. If we could charge it over 200 amps, and you're done in an hour. You know, it's not going to take any time at all. So we're going
So
really
Graham
fast.
wants to know if we are getting a bunch of, hold on a second. Wants to know if we're getting a bunch of losses stepping up and down the different voltages.
Yes and no. The generator is the one that produces the AC when that thing's running. So that's native to it. So it's not like producing DC and then alternating it. I don't think. I think it's actually producing alternating current. So there's no loss there. But then of course when we are running off of batteries and we run an inverter, 110, 120 volt inverter, yes, there's losses in that thing quite a bit. But they're not really all that bad. We don't pull a tremendous amount of 110 current. I mean, when the microwave's running, the thing pulls 125 amps or something like that. But it's only for a short period of time, just a few minutes, and it's done. So it's not too awfully bad, I don't think. But I don't know. We still need to do a little bit of analysis on it, see what's going on. What's that wind doing? Lots of wind. Oh, look at that, back up to 12 knots.
12
Well,
knots,
apparently. 6 knots at
Right.
2. But what's the angle? Oh yeah, look at the angle.
Yeah, the angle's bad.
That's terrible. 18 degrees. So
Yeah.
that was the problem. Was we knew that the wind was going to kind of swap around a little bit, and although it was kind of hoping it was going to be a little more beamy today, but it's not very beamy.
All right. So, does anybody want to see the kitties? I can go and check on the kitties if
Yeah,
you guys
why don't
want.
you go check on
Otherwise,
the
we'll end the live chat, but let's go see what kitties are doing, real quick.
Yep.
We'll go and check it out.
Right.
So, are they Franny up here at the helm? Bye, Franny.
Bye.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
So nice and clean down here. Not really. Whee! Here's our sea state. So the last time I checked, this is one of our guest cabins. The two were actually getting along, and they were, and they still are. They were still hanging out. How you guys doing underway? They've had their seasickness medication, and I think they're doing okay. More emotions don't look too terribly happy, but they like they like getting to the destination, and then it's fun. All right. So this is the cooktop that we were talking about replacing. This one. And then, of course, our obnoxious looking microwave and toaster oven. We're going to replace that with just one and then put the dishwasher right where that one is. Franny put in a new sink faucet for me. Super, super cool. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, I think it's probably time. Hope that you guys are still awake and not falling asleep. We'll go ahead and let you go, but hopefully we can join you tomorrow. I'll have to see how we're doing tomorrow morning. I'll turn back around. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. Get up here. You want to say goodbye?
Yep. All right, everybody. Have a great afternoon. And as Heidi said, hopefully we can pick this up tomorrow if it doesn't get crazy or whatever. So we'll try to do a quick little live stream. Probably be a little earlier because I think we're supposed to get at like noonish, and there's always that hour and a half kerfuffle, right at the
Kind of gets
end.
nutty. Yeah, we'll see.
So,
We had a hard time with that St. Augustine last time. So, okay.
alrighty.
Alrighty.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.